We'll go next to Arizona State at Mississippi State. This game's 7:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. Arizona State right now about a 6.5 point favorite, right around there. They are the reigning Big 12 champs. They are about to have their first true test, and we're going to see exactly where they're at. And the Bulldogs, they're trying to avenge a game that was pretty close last year. They lost 30-23 in Tempe. They're trying to show some tangible results under second-year head coach Jeff Leavitt. A win over a ranked playoff contender would validate a lot of what Jeff Leavitt has preached all offseason, is that they have improved across the board and they're a lot better defensively. They believe they are. We'll find out in this game because they're going against a great quarterback in Arizona State's Sam Leavitt. In the season opener, he was awesome. Had 4 touchdowns, was 25 of 39, 257, couple scores of the year. But his most impactful plays might have come on the ground. He ran 7 times for 73 yards. He led the team with 73 yards and a couple touchdowns. He also had that big 52-yard run that resulted in a score. On the other side is Mississippi State's Blake Shapen. When he's healthy, he's been very, very good. He's healthy. So can he elevate his performance to kind of carry the Bulldogs to what would be an unexpected victory? Question 1, can the Bulldogs get the run game going? Now, in the first half against Southern Miss, there were a lot of mistakes. And then everything kind of fell into place for Mississippi State, and you started to see them pull away against Southern Miss. They have a really nice duo in Davin Booth and South Alabama transfer Fluff Bothwell. That's a really nice combination. They had 3 second-half touchdowns. They led the team to 188 rushing yards. They averaged over 4.5 yards a carry. Now, the performance of the offensive line, this is a group that has undergone a complete overhaul, a complete reconstruction. They struggled a little bit, and I think they're going to need to be better because Blake Shapen was strip sacked on one play due to immediate pressure. They allowed 4 tackles for loss against a non-Power 4 opponent, so they're going to have to be better up front against a Sun Devils defense that relies a lot on athleticism, creates a lot of chaos, has a bunch of variety with their blitz packages. Question 2, how will Mississippi State contain Sam Leavitt? In last year's game, Sam Leavitt had his worst performance of the entire season, completed just 10 of 20 for 69 yards. They forced him to rely kind of on his legs, and he did. He did a good job with that. But Mississippi State defensive coordinator Coleman Hutzler will undoubtedly look to last year's recipe and try to implement the exact same thing. They used a spy, I would think, in passing downs. That's going to require being very disciplined with their pass rush because scrambling is what makes Leavitt extremely dangerous. There's a huge question mark right now that looms over Mississippi State's secondary. If you look at their cornerback position, that might be their biggest hole on the roster. So we'll see if they're up to the challenge because a couple good wideouts that they're going to have to go up against. Question number 3, has Mississippi State's defense taken the step needed? They were historically bad last year. They ranked at or near the bottom of the FBS in scoring defense, total defense, rushing defense, you name it. They gave up 1 million yards and 1 million points. They got to be better. And Coleman Hutzler, he's got a big overhaul that he's going to have to deal with. If you look, though, at the first game against Southern Miss, there was a lot of improvement. But the biggest improvement came with how they defended the run. Now, Southern Miss wants to run the football. That's what they are. They held them to under 3 yards per carry. That's a really good starting point, but how will it work against better competition now with a legit playoff contender in Arizona State? Question 4, can Arizona State get some receiving production from someone other than Jordan Tyson? Now, last week, he was targeted over and over and over again. He caught 12 for 141 and 2 touchdowns. Now, he's probably going to be a first-round pick at some point. He is super dynamic. He's great after the catch. He is a legit bona fide number 1 wide receiver. But if you look at where everything else is beyond Tyson, the passing attack really runs through Tyson almost exclusively. Their starting slot receiver, Jalen Moss, he's uncertain. He left the opener with a foot injury. There's not really another proven, super consistent threat within this wide receiver core. That provides Mississippi State with a pretty obvious game plan. Do you bracket Tyson the entire game? Because if you bracket Tyson, it means you got a corner underneath, a safety over the top. That means the other guys are on islands. So can Malik McClain, can Xavier Guillory win their one-on-one matchups against a question mark for the Mississippi State Bulldogs, or can they run the ball because running the ball with a bracketed receiver becomes very, very difficult. It becomes very, very easy if the numbers are not good up front. Question number 5. Can the road environment lead to a continued lack of discipline from Arizona State? Last week, they committed 12 penalties for 93 yards in a sequence there that is unlike many I've seen before, to have a 75-yard touchdown wiped out, and then on the very next play have a 60-yard reception wiped out because of the penalty. That's a hard thing to think about. It's a scheme that's built on tempo, rhythm, explosive plays, and they're going into one of the more hostile environments in college football with Davis-Wade Stadium. The constant clang of the cowbell, the pre-snap challenges, procedural challenges of playing in that environment are real. Take it from me. I've played there. That place is a beast to communicate in. Now, ironically, the Bulldogs, they weren't very disciplined themselves. They got flagged 14 times for 119 yards against Southern Miss. So Coach Levy and quarterback Blake Shapen, they said that these self-inflicted mistakes, they cannot raise their ugly head against a talented Arizona State team, because it's going to disrupt the rhythm and it's going to disrupt sustaining drives there in the first half of this football game. I will take Arizona State in this game, but it will be close. If you read between the lines there, if you're thinking about maybe placing a wager or something, I'll take Arizona State, but it'll be close in what should be a good one there in Starkville.